I founded a company called Law. And essentially, I'm a coach for women's health. So I specialize in PCOS, but I support quite a few different clients, all women with hormonal balance, or just generally their female health. So what it looked like for me, and my symptoms got quite a bit worse. So it obviously started with the lack of periods, but then I started to lose my hair. My hair is naturally straightened several times today, but it's actually naturally very curly, very thick. And my hair started to fall out. I had really bad brain fog. So I was actually at work, in consulting, and I was forgetting what people were saying in meetings. I would forget what happened yesterday. I would be in meetings and not know what to say or what was happening. I was really anxious, and I'm thankfully not particularly an anxious person, but I started to feel this sense of anxiety quite a lot, and couldn't really work out why. My weight was fluctuating. So, I felt really bloated at times. I would put on weight quite significantly within a few months with no change really happening. To lose weight, I've always been quite an active person, and what I thought worked never did. I was craving sugar all the time. So, especially in the afternoon, I was just having massive drops in my energy level, which obviously influenced brain fog. So, all of this was happening. And again, I never really made the connection between this and PCOS. So, what is PCOS? It is a hormonal disorder, and it impacts nearly every part of our body. So, it impacts your metabolism, your insulin levels, your reproductive hormones. And this is because of the impact it has on your hormonal levels. So, I'll explain it in more detail, but it really does have an impact in every part of your body. And this is why looking holistically across nutrition, movement, lifestyle can really help you balance that out. PCOS is quite a significant challenge that we have across multiple women. So at the moment, they're saying 1 in 10 women struggle with PCOS, and they're those that have been diagnosed. So for me, I was struggling for what I knew was 4 or 5 years before even getting diagnosed. So there could be hundreds of women out there, thousands, millions, that don't even know they're struggling with PCOS. And it's not just about fertility, and I think back to when I was told, it seemed to just be, you'll never have children. That was the only thing that I thought was happening. But actually, it was impacting my energy, my mood, my health, my mindset. It really does influence every single part of your body and how you think. So what are some of the symptoms of PCOS? So I haven't actually got a slide on this, but going through this, I think it's important to share. You can obviously be professionally diagnosed with PCOS, and that is through your GP or a medical expert. And what they normally do is they'll do blood tests to monitor and look at your hormone levels. They'll do an ultrasound to see if you have polycystic ovaries, which is where you have, they're not actually follicles, they're eggs that haven't been able to develop fully. And what they look like on your ovaries are small follicles, and they show up on an ultrasound. But outside of that, there's lots of symptoms that often go amiss and also can be caused by other things. So people don't always realize that PCOS is what they're struggling with. So a big one, which nearly every person with PCOS will struggle with, is irregular periods or no periods at all, weight gain or difficulty losing weight, excess hair growth, usually on their face. So lots of my clients struggle around here, or it can show up on your back or your chest. Hair thinning, mine would just fall out when I would brush my hair, but a lot of people actually get thinning on the top of their hair. Oily skin, and that can then form into acne. So a lot of hormonal acne that people struggle with can be because of PCOS. Fatigue and mood swings, and fertility challenges. And the reason for all of these is because of the imbalance in your hormones. And there's specific hormones that relate to specific symptoms, which really helps you be able to work out what type of PCOS you have. So the reason for these is because you might have excess hormones in particular areas, or actually quite low or imbalanced in other areas. So the different types of PCOS, and I think this is really important to understand, and it's really difficult to really know what you're struggling with. But the first one and the most common is insulin resistant. So insulin is obviously a hormone of ours, and that is what drives our blood sugar levels. So when you have PCOS, you struggle to balance your blood sugars because of this resistance you have when it comes to insulin. So often this is why people get a lot of cravings. So because their insulin isn't working effectively in their glucose levels, as much as they're eating what they think is the right things, their body isn't absorbing it properly, and they're getting all of these drops in their energy, and then obviously these cravings for sugary and carbohydrates.